Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. My name is Angel Santos. I'm a business coach and the host of the 𝗪𝗁 podcast. And today we're going to talk about the three things you need, the three ingredients, right, that you need to make your first 10K in business. I wanted to talk about this topic because for those of you who do not know my story, I started out as a expensive hobby owner, right? From 2012 to 2015, I had a nonprofit and I was able to help a lot of people. I had a lot of fun. I made some great Christian content and short films with kids, right? So again, it was a great time. I felt like I was walking in my purpose, right? The only thing was I was not making any money, right? In that nonprofit, 2012, 2015, I made about $530 in 3 years, not 535,000. 500, and I literally built a three-figure business. So once again, it was fun. It was encouraging. I enjoyed it. Some of the people I work with have the kids have went on to be in films and TV shows and commercials. So it's always nice to see them on TV and know I casted them. But I just had a lot to learn. And so that's why I wanted to talk about this topic, because it's so easy, especially for us as Christian women, to start a business and have all of these hangups on selling, or honestly, not just really have direction. Because as you know, if you started a business, it's a lot different to log into a job and collect your check, a 9 to 5 job, than it is to work in your business and collect that same check. But that check is needed, because what I learned in my nonprofit is that when you limit your income, you limit your impact. So because I wasn't bringing in money in my nonprofit, I was always trying to, skimp where I could, because it wasn't bringing in any money, right? I didn't want to keep funneling money from my day job at that time that I had to funnel into the business. So it wasn't until 2016 when I made drastic changes. I closed down the nonprofit. I restructured my business, and over the next 7 months made 25,000, and then over the next 5 years built it to a six-figure business, right? And I've been able to reach now tens of thousands of people. Tens of thousands of people have been helped by my videos, my trainings, and my coaching, right? Which I am so grateful to do. But I could not have done that if I had kept myself limited, right? And the limitation wasn't that I had a nonprofit. The limitation was a few things, but three of the most important things that I learned by that shift, right? From $500 in 3 years to building a six-figure business in 5 years. The differences I've learned, or 4 years, should I say, the differences I've learned, the three essential differences, are what I'm going to talk about today. Because one of our roles here at the Christian 𝗪𝗂 Academy is to eradicate what I call no-K months, right? These are months where you're posting on social, you might be even doing an in-person workshop, but you're not seeing any money come in. Like, that is not okay, ladies. It is not okay to not be making any money. And while it's not, as believers, we know it's not just about the money. The money is there for a purpose. One of my favorite places in the Bible to talk about this is in Genesis, where, when Joseph, who was very wealthy, by the way, a very wealthy believer, he was used to save a nation of people. And I actually told people who are in my community that we all have the Joseph gene, right? Because to me, Joseph was one of the original believers who, he was an entrepreneur in his own right. He was always working for different people, always rising to the top, right? So he was used to save an entire nation of people, right? He was used as a vessel to help, to be a blessing. But his gifts were not free, right? First of all, he was working for a pharaoh. So that was a stream of income for him, a very big stream. And even the way that God used him, God could have told Joseph to tell Pharaoh, just give the people the food and I'm going to bless you. But that's not what God did, right? God told Joseph, listen, if the people are out of food, they can buy it from you. If they run out of money, they can bring you what they have. If they run out of what they have, you can own their land and you can lease it back to them. That was very much big money moves. It was monopoly going on in Genesis, but it wasn't wrong. It wasn't out of integrity. Every day, people go to the hospital, the ER, they need help. They get help. They are charged for it, right? So you deserve to be paid in your business. You deserve to charge well for your services. And it's not just, I really can't emphasize this enough. It's not just about you. The money that you receive in your business isn't just, it is about you, but it's also so you can reach more people, so you can serve them at a higher level, right? So that is why this episode is what it's about. The 3 things you need to make your first 10K in business, and you really can adjust this to your goal. If your goal is to make your first 1,000, use it to make your first 1,000. If it's to make your first 5K, use it for that. If it's to make your first 20K, once again, this is just the core. This is the core foundation of 3 things that you need to make that amount, to get to that amount, right? Are there other elements that you add in, strategy, that type of thing? Of course. But let me tell you, having the best strategy, even a funnel without these 3 things will cause you issues, right? And so if this has been a challenge for you to get your first clients or to get consistent clients, these 3 things will help you. All righty, so let's get started. The first one is audience. Do you have an audience? And I want you to make sure you pay attention, because you may be feeling like, oh yeah, I have followers. Followers do not equal an audience. This is going to be a little shocking. This might be even a little controversial, but even having people on an email list does not make them an audience. I know. I feel like I can receive some pushback on this, but that's okay. It wouldn't be the first time, right? Having a following does not mean you have an audience. Having likes does not mean you have an audience. Having subscribers does not mean you have an audience. Having a Facebook group does not mean you have an audience. So if you just keep posting to an audience you feel like you have, and they're not buying, I'm going to break down why that is. Because once again, this is the first thing you need. This is the first thing that I had to take the time. Now, I moved quickly, don't get me wrong, right? I built an audience in like 30 days in 2017 because I wanted to have a conference and I didn't have an audience. At least I knew, at least I was aware. I had Facebook, followers, but I didn't have an audience, right? So you might think, okay, so if followers or subscribers is not an audience, Angel, what is? An audience are people who are engaging with you. If you have people on your email list and they're not engaging, they're not ever clicking, opening up the links you send, they're not ever responding back, right? If you have Instagram followers and they're not ever engaging back, if they're not ever commenting and saying, hey, thanks, this is so helpful, right? If they're not sharing your content, if they're not saving your content, they are not your audience, right? Think about for a second what an audience really is. I think sometimes because we take things online, things can get a little misconstrued, but really think about it. In-person audience, what does that look like? In person, if you go to like a theater, right? You have the people on the stage. Who is the audience? The audience is the people sitting in the crowd paying attention to what's happening on stage. So an audience, especially in 2022, 2023, 2024, and so on, an audience, it's not enough just to have people who like your page, who follow your page. You have to have people who are engaged, people who are paying attention to you. And how do you know they're paying attention to you? They're asking questions, right? They're giving you some type of response, right? If we were in a theater, right, they would be doing or laughing, right? If something humorous happens, or if they're shocked, or clapping if they're like, or wow, some type of engagement, some type of feedback, right? Online, what does it look like when you have an audience? They're responding. They're thanking you for your training. They're thanking you for your tip. They're thanking you for the recipe you shared, right? They're asking questions because they see you as an expert. They see you as an authority. You have successfully positioned yourself as someone who they're paying attention to. Just like a theater, once again, the actors on stage, they have positioned themselves as the entertainment for the evening, for the afternoon. It's your job to create that, right? It is not enough to just think, oh, well, I have likes, I have subscribers. You have to create an audience. And if they are not engaging, if they are not asking questions, and if they are not buying, they are not an audience. They're not paying attention, right? So you have to really own building that audience, building people, a group of people, a network of people who are engaging, who are asking questions, and who are buying. That is what I had to create. That is what I chose to create when I went from, again, that expensive hobby of my nonprofit. I didn't have an audience. I had people I was serving, which was the interesting thing. I had built like clientele, but I didn't have an audience. And so in 2017, when I decided, okay, I'm tired of just having an expensive hobby, right? I'm tired of spending money from my day job to this thing that I had created that, yes, it was helping people, but it was not sustainable, right? When I decided to create an audience, that's when it all changed, right? And the next ingredient is action. I cannot say this enough. Action, action, action. We live in a time where, people are teaching all you need to do to, get the money you want is to visualize or to meditate or to get on the frequency of money, right? Like, okay, what I know is what the Bible says, and the Bible says faith without works is dead. Okay, God is the ultimate creator. Okay, it's nobody who has manifested more than he created the entire world, right? And if he instructs us that faith without action is dead, it don't work. Action is still required. So even for those of you who are like, well, I'm just trusting God, I'm believing God that my business is going to grow. It will. It absolutely will. Mine did, but action was involved. And not just action, but the right action. I was taking action in my nonprofit that wasn't making any money, right? I did that for 3 years. I was taking a lot of action. I had business cards. I had a website. I had an office space, right? I had equipment. I had studio space. I was meeting the kids every weekend and some nights to work on things. I was hosting auditions. I was editing. I was taking a lot of action, but I wasn't taking the right action. You have to take the right action to actually make money. And the money is essential because it allows you to serve more people at a higher level, right? So what did I have to do from that switch from the expensive hobby owner to the six-figure business that I was able to build? I had to get uncomfortable. I did. I'm gonna just be honest. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I had to get uncomfortable. You can't tell because you're watching this video, but I am #team introvert all day. I like books. I like Pure Flix. I like Hulu. I like Prime. I like books. I like the Bible. I like all my different Bibles. I like all my different commentaries. I have 50 books I haven't read that I bought, right? I have Audible. Like, I love my family. I do enjoy spending time with them, right? Outside of my family and even like a few close friends, I'm okay just being by myself. So if I don't meet new people, I'm okay, right? And so in my nonprofit, I didn't meet people. I knew the people I went to school with. I knew the people in my sanctuary, and that was it. Because I didn't get out and meet people because it's like, look, people, right? I get nervous. I get shy. I think about what if they don't like me? I feel awkward. If I don't know anyone, I feel uncomfortable. So I didn't know people. And when I made that decision to build a profitable business, right? A sustainable business, I had to get uncomfortable. I went out and met people. I walked in rooms where I didn't know anyone and talked to people. Now that was what I had to do. Your uncomfortableness may look different. I had a client, one client, Carissa. She was a super extrovert. She had no problem talking to people, right? Her is, what she had to do was different, right? What we had to work with her on was different. So what you have to work on might be different. Maybe you're uncomfortable with technology, but that's stopping you from moving forward in your business, right? You know what you're uncomfortable with, but you also know what's stopping you, what's being that bottleneck from you moving forward and making money, real money in your business, like so you can help real people, right? But getting uncomfortable is something that you cannot get around. Follow through. So when I had the nonprofit, if I was sick, if I didn't feel well for a few weeks, I would take a few weeks off. Right? When I shifted into my for-profit business, I showed up with a different level of follow through. I showed up with a different level of commitment. I showed up with a different discipline, right? And it made a difference. I fully committed to the goal that I set, right? So the way I made my first 5 figures in my for-profit business was I held a one-day event, right? I was a new coach then. I had been in marketing for like 10 years, don't get me wrong, but I was a brand new coach. And I knew that once again, that I needed to build an audience, that I needed to build a relationship with them, all those type of things. And I wanted to do it quickly, right? Because thanks for the heart. Because remember, I had spent 3 years with $500, making $500. So I wanted to build it quickly because I was excited to work with people. I was excited to share what I had learned, all things not to do. And so I spent a month building out that goal. I found an event space, right? I networked. I went to BNI meetings and networking events and got in Facebook groups, and I met people. I had real conversations. I told them what I was working on, and I asked them to buy a ticket to my event. It was really simple. I didn't use a lot of tech. I didn't have a funnel. I didn't have a website. I didn't have any of that then, right? Because I was still working like a 9 to 5. So, the website I had for my nonprofit wasn't relevant. So I didn't have anything fancy. I just got committed to my goal. I was willing to do whatever it took. And that, again, brought in the first $25,000 into my business, right? So a quick recap is an audience. It's not just enough to have subscribers, right? Or likes or follows. They need to be engaging, asking questions and buying. And that is on you to build. Action. Right? It takes getting uncomfortable. It takes following through and being fully committed. You can't play small, because if you play small, people can feel it. If you're kind of having, reservations, which goes into the next thing we're going to talk about, other people can feel it. And the last ingredient, right? The last ingredient to making your first 10K, right? And this is based on experience. I've made 10K again and again and again and again, and I've helped others do it again, or their first 1K, their first 3K, their first 5K, again and again and again and again, right? Their first so many goals, like their first 6 figures, right? Their first Amazon bestseller, their first course, their first webinar, again and again and again. And you know what the 3 common ingredients are? These 3 that I'm sharing. So I say it for your first 10K because to me it's so important to, again, not be an expensive hobby owner, right? You want to help more people. I believe that your business is bigger than you, right? I believe that our businesses, just like Joseph's business, right, is a vessel for us to be used by God to be a blessing to other people, right? I help women start and grow businesses so they can be a blessing to themselves, their families, the people that they serve, their community, the ministry, and whatever other visions God has given them, right? So I get to help women impact the world, right? It's bigger than just me, right? One of my clients who was a Mary Kay, she does Mary Kay, and she helps people with skincare, right? It's bigger than just her. When you help women with makeup and take care of their skin, you help them feel more confident. You help them improve their self-esteem. You help them just feel more confident in their own body, more comfortable. Do you know how important it is for women to feel comfortable in their own skin, for them to approach life in an encouraged way, how they show up differently in their relationships? It's bigger than just skincare. It's bigger than just makeup. So I believe each of our businesses are vessels that God uses to allow us to just be a blessing and a help and a contribution to the world, just like Joseph's business, right? So having faith that is bigger than just you. And I say actual faith because a lot of believers, right? We say we believe. It's so easy to say, "Oh yeah, I believe God. Yeah, I believe that I'm chosen. I believe this is for a reason." But inside, deep down inside, maybe not that deep for you, right? On a subconscious level, you have doubts. You don't feel comfortable saying you're an expert. You don't feel comfortable taking ownership of what you know. You don't feel comfortable acknowledging that you have been chosen, right? And listen, you're not alone. Genesis is like one of my favorite books in the Old Testament, and Exodus. So you're not alone. So Moses, once again, chosen, right? What I love about Moses is that he was used so epically, right? To once again free a whole nation of people. But what had happened was, before he was used, when God was telling him, Moses, I want you to free your people. Moses was like, I want you to go tell Pharaoh this. He was telling God, like God didn't already know. Oh God, I'm not that great with that speaking thing. That's not really my gig, My brother, other people, they're charismatic, they're naturals. That's not my thing. God already know, Moses. But isn't that how we do? Like, we've been called, we've been chosen. Our shortcomings, what we think makes us not good enough, right? Those are not why we are called, right? Paul was not chosen because he was just such a great Christian. He was killing Christians, right? He was chosen because God chose him. You're chosen because God chose you, right? That's what qualifies you, not you. Him, right? I'm not qualified because I just naturally have the most energy, or I'm the smartest, or the what I'm chosen because I'm chosen, right? We're chosen because we're chosen. And when we have actual faith, when we actually believe that. And how do you know you believe it? Not to say you necessarily feel comfortable with it, because I think that's a misconception that faith means feeling comfortable with something. No, faith means taking action, right? It's saying, even though I feel like this, I'm gonna still do this, right? That is trusting God. That is actual faith, right? So taking action as if it's bigger than just you, because it's bigger than just you, right? Believing is not for nothing. How do you do that? You take action as if you already know the results, right? When I was planning my one-day event, once again, I planned it in less than 60 days. I had no audience, no website, no funnels, all that good stuff, no sales page. I didn't plan it like the circumstances. My coach, who I was, that was a $10,000 program. This is 2017, right? My coach actually told me not to have the event. She was like, "You're just getting started. You don't have an audience. Who's going to come?" And I was like, well, I can go build one, right? Because I had actual faith, right? I was excited, and I let that fuel me, right? I took action like I knew it wasn't for nothing. And it wasn't, right? And then believing that you can help people is so important. If you don't believe you can help people, why would they believe it? So faith, faith that you can help people because you can. And also, I just too want to say is not downplaying what you already know, the skills you already have. No one is expecting you to know everything about what you do, but there is something that you know, right? All of the women I work with, they're brilliant. Now, if you ask them, they may not call themselves brilliant, but they are each of them in their own right? Jen, who did the makeup and helped people with skincare. Christian, who's a financial consultant and helps you save money and pay off your debt so you can take a cash vacation to Italy, no credit cards, and be excited about it, right? Verna, who helps you find homes and invest in your first real estate. They're all experts in their own right? They all know what they're talking about. They know what they're doing. They know what they know. Is there room to grow for all of us? Of course. But having room to grow having room to grow doesn't mean you can't help people with where you are now, right? You can. You are qualified because you are chosen. That's what qualifies you. All right, ladies. So those are the 3 things that it takes to make your first 1K, 2K, 5K, 10K, 20K, right? You can really pick your number. I like to choose, your first 10K because once again, it's a business you're growing, not a hobby. So I think that's a great goal to shoot for, but you can start wherever you like. I want to, before you go, I want to kind of quickly share my role as a coach, right? Because I don't think a lot of people really understand what coaching is. I saw one person at a boutique I used to go to, and I was talking about something, and she was like, "Oh, you're a business coach?" I was like, "Yeah, what did you think I was?" She was like, "I thought you were an empowerment coach." And yes, I do empower, I do encourage, but my role as a business coach is to get you from so where you are now, right, to B, where you want to be, right? So women who come to me, normally it's 2 things. Some women come to me, they haven't started their business yet, and they want to launch it. So that's what I help them do, right? I help them put it all together, plan it all out, create it all, launch it, make their first sales, right? Website, the whole shebang, right? So that's like one way I help people get from A to B. The other most common client I have is people who are making some money, but they're ready for it to be more, right? So I have some clients who have made, a couple thousand, but they're ready for it to be consistent, sustainable income. Then I have people who are already making like 45, 50, and then we work to double that in 12 months so they can make their first 6 figures and then, grow it from there, right? So A to B. That is my role as a coach. And if you need help going from A to B, because a lot of times it's like you're at A and you're aware of B, but this like middle right here, you're not really sure what to do to get across that middle part to B. And that is where coaching comes in. So one thing I've done as a coach to help you get from A to B is I've created a free training. It's about 45 minutes and it goes into the strategy, right? This was very high level, right? But it's so important. So this is definitely like a prequel, if you will, to making your first 10K. In this training, I get a little bit more into the numbers. So actually, what are you going to sell? How are you going to sell it? And thank you, by the way, for the likes and hearts. And I call it the 5K formula because we show you how to price something out. Well, I show you how to price something out to, again, sell it to make your first 5K and do it again and again and again, right? Because you follow the formula, you get your first 10K in, as little as 2 months. It just depends on a number of things. So if you'd like that training, just put 5K formula in the comments section wherever you're watching this. If you're watching this on Facebook, if you're watching this on YouTube, if you're listening to this on the podcast, first of all, thank you so much for listening. And you can email us at podcast@growmybrand.org. podcast@growmybrand.org and just email us 5K formula and we'll send you the link. And then also, though, if you're stable, obviously, you can't do it if you're driving, but if you're listening to the podcast, you should also see the link to the 5K formula masterclass in the description of this podcast. So you can go ahead and sign up. The other option that I wanted to tell you about is a free 5K audit coaching session. So this is a free, absolutely free. No selling or anything like that. It's not because I don't like that when people tell you something is free and then all they do is sell to you the whole time and they don't even give you the help. So this is a free, no selling audit, right? So we get on a call and I take a look at what you're putting out now, and I give you feedback on how you can adjust it to include those ingredients that I talked to you about: a real audience, making sure you're actually having faith, and making sure you're taking the right actions. And I normally can like look at your presence and different things like that and already kind of see, oh, okay, I see what's happening here, right? So if you like one of those, oh, okay, I see what's happening conversations, if you'd like me to audit your pieces, your actions, your existing marketing, to see what you need to change to create your first either 5K in business or your 5K months, right? Because that is how you leave your 9 to 5, is replacing it with income in your business, which you deserve to do if that's a desire. You can have a free one per person, but you can get a free session. And once again, if you're listening to the podcast, there's a link to this in the description, or you can email us at podcast@growmybrand.org. And if you are watching, just put 5K audits in the comment section. All right, ladies, thank you again so much for watching. Okay. Sorry. We have a comment from someone like, hi, how are you, Saskia? Oh, I so enjoyed our talk. Okay. She says, yes, discipline and commitment are keys. It will help overcome any self-doubt. Yes. I'm going to read that again one more time. She said, yes, discipline and commitment are keys. It will help overcome any self-doubt. Yes, yes, and yes. And I also want to say too, I think a lot of times we think it's confidence that we need to get started, right? Confidence comes from competence, and competence comes from action. So get started. Get started. Do the thing over and over and over. Do it scared. Do it trembling, right? Do it in faith, and the confidence and the comfort will come. 5K would love to know more. Yes. Let me know which one that you are interested in. Are you interested in an audit or the masterclass? And I will get that to you. And once again, for those of you who are watching the replay, thank you so much. Once again, I'm Angel Santos, a business coach. It has been a pleasure. Bye.